with yet another Super Bowl appearance, with yet another great season in 2024, with another trip to a Super Bowl 3 times in a row, the Kansas City Chiefs are projected to be back on top of the NFL in 2025. They're actually tied for most projected wins in 2025. So, guys, over under 11.5 wins for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2025. Yes. The final boss of football, the final boss of the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said, guys, they are fresh off another Super Bowl run. Of course they are, right? They're sitting back on top with 11.5 wins in 2025. It's just like the NFL just updates the schedule every year, and you might as well just put Patrick Mahomes 12-plus wins, and it goes from there. So the question is 11.5 wins. Let's discuss this logically. Why does the over feel like a lock in my eyes? Patrick Mahomes. That is it. Patrick freaking Mahomes. As long as Mahomes is breathing and Andy Reid is calling the play, the team stats every season gives that 12-win energy. He wins with elite receivers. He wins with average receivers. He wins with no receivers. And when the playoffs hit, it's Gonku entering Ultimate Instinct. Guys, Patrick Mahomes could win MVP each and every season. Matter of fact, Patrick Mahomes should win MVP each and every season, but we expect him to be elite. We expect him to throw for 5,000 yards. We expect him to do this, this, and this, and this. That breeds 12-win energy. And guess what? Andy Reid is still cooking. The best play designer in the NFL. Nobody adjusts his mid-season like Andy Reid. The post-Tyreek Hill offense was supposed to regress. It was supposed to stut. And guess what? They still hit the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. And on top of that, the defense is legit now. Spags and crew might have the real MVP in 2024, which carries over to 2025, and that defense just wasn't good. It was a top 5 defense. The defense wasn't that good. The defense was great in 2024. It's going to carry over to 2025. They're young, they're aggressive, and they're deep. They have fully graduated from the Mahomes bailouts to carrying stretches by themselves. And oh, by the way, the division equals theirs. The division is still theirs. The Broncos are improving, yes. The Chargers are rising. And let's just be honest, the Raiders are rebuilding / retooling. But nobody owns the AFC West like the Kansas City Chiefs. They have won the division 8 straight years in a row. And until proven otherwise, it's an automatic 4 to 5 division wins each and every season. But I want to be optimistic. I want to be optimistic because their schedule is not very easy. Right? They do have some tough potential things, right? Now, when considering the over or the under, I want you to consider these under possibilities. But they're risky, but understand this, right? Is the offense regressing? At some point, the wide receiver woes and the left tackle woes have to catch up with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Even Patrick Mahomes had to drag last year's group through the mud until Rashee Rice popped off in 2024. In 2023. Last year, Patrick Mahomes literally had to force his team through the mud each and every game. Now, if Rashee Rice gets suspended with the whole car crash thing, which is possible, and Travis Kelce continues to slow down, things could get rocky early. But we'll see. Injuries. Now, Patrick Mahomes has been, quote, superhuman, maybe even invincible, but one major injury, God forbid that happens, and the floor drops fast. Patrick Mahomes is the end-all, be-all for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we know about the Super Bowl hangovers. When you lose a Super Bowl, you normally do not make the playoffs the following season. We've seen it before. Even elite teams sometimes start slow after a long playoff grind. And the Kansas City Chiefs have done it, 4 times in the last five seasons. Chiefs love to sleepwalk through September and in October, and they go on heaters late. This could cost them an extra win or 2. So over under 11.5 wins for the Kansas City Chiefs. I am projecting 12-5 or 13-4 in 2025. It's boring. It is predictable, but you know what? It is smart. Until somebody consistently beats them in big moments or Patrick Mahomes breaks both of his arms, the over is just business as usual. And guys, honestly, betting the Kansas City Chiefs over feels like less gambling and more like investing in a blue chip stock. So the question for you guys down in the comments below, are you riding with the dynasty in 2025 or feel like in 2025 it could finally be their quote slip up year? Over under 11.5 wins in 2025, guys. Real McCoy says 13-4 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I like it. I like it a lot, baby. Old Man River says no, they fall to the bottom. They get less full of themselves, 7-10. Woo, slow it down, baby. Old Man River is shooting from the hip and says the Kansas City Chiefs are going to 7-10. Oh, man, you realize Rashid Rice is going to be back. You realize that Hollywood Brown is going to be back. You realize that we're going to get a nice receiver in the NFL draft. Old Man River says he's going to need State Farm after the Raiders game. No, because Max Crosby is going to be too busy up there in Eastern Michigan general managing that real thing, right? And Real McCoy says this could be Travis Cease's last year also. And I agree with you, Real McCoy. That adds fuel to that fire. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jerome Bettis, right? The last ride. The bus stops here. They snuck into the playoffs. Jerome Bettis, the bus, says, I'm retiring after we lose, guys. What do they do? Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl, baby. Old Man River says, honestly, 10-7 and losing a tiebreaker to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are not winning the division. The Raiders are not winning the division. Slow it down, baby. Alpha Rob says 10-7 this year. Like they should have been last season, but they're not getting those lucky bounces this season. Old Man River, Alpha Rob, you are correct. The Kansas City Chiefs did get lucky last season. They blocked that field goal for the Broncos, right? They blocked the PAT. Aiden O'Connell threw a game-ending interception, right? The Kansas City Chiefs had luck on their side in 2024. And, God forbid those games do go the other way. They are a 10-7 team. You guys are right. But I got to pick the over. Got to pick the over.